The Westminster system of government we adopted in 1975 adheres to the principle of the separation of powers. This means the three arms of government: 1, the Parliament, the lawmaking body; 2, the judiciary, the courts; and 3, the executive, can't interfere with each other's decisions. They're supposed to be independent, free-functioning arms of government that uphold the laws of Papua New Guinea. The courts can't tell the Parliament what to do, the PM and his cabinet can't be dictated to by the courts, and the Parliament can't make the courts and the executive do its bidding.
Now, votes of no confidence in conventional democracies that we have adopted from the Westminster model is by blocking the budget, by blocking constitutional amendment. That's virtually a vote of no confidence. If the government has the numbers to be able to get those legislations and budget through like it was going to this week, and members are disaffected, they vote with the opposition faction and block that, that's essentially a vote of no confidence. In the traditional model, like in Australia, UK, in New Zealand, when it happens, Prime Minister and the ruling party in government does not have the confidence of the House, and you would expect the Prime Minister to tender his resignation to the head of state and call for either fresh elections or what's called in the Australian scene a spill.
But over the last 4 decades, the system has been tried and tested. Pushed to its limits by aggrieved politicians and bureaucrats, the three arms appear to have always survived under the pressure.
No, the court hasn't interfered yet. It's the politicians who are trying to use the court system and judicial process abusively to interfere with the democratic process of the parliament.
In recent years, the courts have become like a principal, adjudicating over disagreements brought to the office from the classroom and the playground. It has become like the last resort used by those in the government system to prove or disprove interpretations of law, or to settle disputes arising from either one of the two arms of government.
The motion of the vote of no confidence is a private notice of motion which can be withdrawn at any time. So once again, the attempt to stop that withdrawal that the Prime Minister is challenging is truly mischievous and an abuse of process. And it's simply an attempt to stop the Parliament from moving a motion of no confidence.
Former Chief Justice Sir Arnold Ahmet, who saw his share of politicians running to the courts to settle disputes, made an important statement in the case of Haiveta versus Winkty in 1994. Sir Arnold, as Chief Justice, said in his ruling that the judiciary is the guardian of the Constitution, and this role is amply provided for in the Constitution. More than 10 days ago, a 5-man Supreme Court bench handed down rulings related to matters of Parliament.
It is important that I vacate this seat so that we can be able to move on.
Me talk clear now, Lord, this horrible house. People of Papua New Guinea only look stop. Also, me receiving finish that now I'm the official position of Prime Minister of Papua New Guinea am vacant.
The Supreme Court reference from the opposition leader Belden Namah sought to clarify if sections of the Constitution were breached when the Speaker unilaterally accepted the withdrawal of Peter O'Neill's nomination as Prime Minister on the floor of Parliament. Going back a year and 6 months, on May 19th last year, Peter O'Neill resigned as Prime Minister, leaving a vacancy in the top post. On the 30th, Parliament was recalled and the Speaker called for nominations for the PM's post. Enga Governor Peter Ipatas nominated James Marape and Patrick Pruij nominated Peter O'Neill. After O'Neill accepted the nomination, Rabaul MP Dr. Alan Marat nominated Sir Makere Morauta, 3 candidates now for the PM's post. Immediately after the Speaker closed the nominations, Peter O'Neill withdrew his nomination, leaving just Marape and Sir Makere. The nomination and the withdrawal caused confusion and uncertainty, But the court found through its interpretation that while there was room to raise those concerns on the floor of Parliament, which is the appropriate forum as per the principles of separation, nobody questioned the decision by the Speaker to accept the withdrawal of nominations. And what happened then in the short space of time in Parliament on the 30th of May 2019 and in the minds of those present is left to interpretation. It could have been that the urgency to elect a new Prime Minister rendered the questions over O'Neill's nomination withdrawal unnecessary at the time, and the events within that short space of time in one of the other arms of government was again brought to the courts for interpretation. The court made a ruling that it could not make a decision on the matters of Parliament and that upholding the principle of separation of powers, the 5 judges basically said the Speaker exercised his authority in the realm of Parliament, which was his job. And therefore the matter was non-justiciable, meaning that the courts could not make a decision as it was not in their power to do so. And now there's another Parliament-related matter pending that is yet to be clarified next week. And that's the question over whether the Speaker, Job Pomat, had the authority to recall Parliament unilaterally after a majority of MPs voted to adjourn to the 1st of December. Again, the robustness of the separation of powers will be tried and tested in the process.